Remember when you used to draw animals as a kid using whatever colored crayon you had to hand? You probably created ridiculous things like purple polar bear, bright yellow parrot, white lions, and pink grasshoppers. But what if I told you all those things aren't as made up as you might think? The animal kingdom is far more colorful than you know. And coming up are some of the world's rarest creatures that definitely won the genetic lottery.
Are you ready?
Melanistic fox. When you think of the world's most beautiful wild animals, foxes probably don't spring to mind. But have you ever seen one like this before? This is the incredibly rare and majestic cross fox, which was once abundant in America until they were largely killed off in the late 19th century, thanks to the high demand for their unique fur. Cross foxes are almost identical to red foxes, but they have a larger, bushier tail with more wool under their feet. The cross fox was given its name thanks to the long, dark stripe running down the back, intersecting another stripe to form a cross over the shoulders. Their incredibly unique coat is the result of a partially melanistic variant. Melanistic is basically the opposite of albinism, meaning that an abundance of dark-colored pigment is produced under their skin. Although melanistic foxes make up about 30% of the Canadian fox population, they're still a very rare sight to see. But there's an even more elusive kind: the silver fox. These mysterious foxes are a fully melanistic version of the cross fox created through years of breeding. As you can see, they have a glossy black undercoat with a top coat that looks like they've been dusted with silver, as well as some white coloring on the tip of their tail. One thing's for sure, you'd be incredibly lucky to see one of these foxes raiding your bins. King cheetah. Notice anything out of the ordinary about this cheetah? Take a closer look at that magnificent coat when compared with its run-of-the-mill counterpart, and you'll see what makes the so-called king cheetah so well sought after. This stunning big cat is a variety of the regular cheetah with a rare mutation that produces cream-colored fur with large, blotchy spots and three distinctive dark, wide stripes extending from the neck down to the tail. At first, it was thought to be different species altogether, before it was discovered that the fur pattern was actually caused by a recessive gene that promotes the overproduction of melanin in the skin. Back in 1926, Major A. Cooper shot a king cheetah and noticed how the fur was thicker and darker than normal, so he named it after himself. Imagine you kill an animal and then name it after yourself. Thankfully, an English zoologist wasn't impressed and renamed the animal Acinonyx rex. Rex translates as king in Latin, and the king cheetah was born. This elusive big cat is actually one of the rarest animals in the world. There are only about 30 or 50 in the entire world. As few as 10 of those are thought to exist in the wild, while the others are in protected parks and wildlife reservations. You know, these cheetahs are so rare and they need to be encouraged and be supported to survive and breed. To support them, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and also you can share this video. I might suggest you can hit this bell and be prepared to be noticed for next video. Thanks. Pink katydid. This pretty pink insect is a katydid, which are related to grasshoppers and crickets and mostly found in tropics like the Amazon rainforest. Usually katydids are green, but these awesome pink variants were first described back in 1874. Since then, there has been intense discussion over the origins of their dazzling hue. At the turn of 20th century, Harvard entomologist Howard Scudder suggested that the pink coloring could be seasonal, meaning the normally green insect would change colors with the autumn leaves as the temperature drops. But the theory was debunked when myrmecologist William Martin Wheeler found bright pink katydids nymphs in the prairies of Wisconsin and Illinois during the summer season of July 1907. Finally, the truth was revealed. These pimped-out bugs suffer from a genetic mutation controlled by recessive genes which is known as erythrism. This causes an absence of normal green pigment or excessive production of red or pink pigment in the skin. Pink katydids are pretty hard to come by in the wild, which can partly be explained by the fact that hot pink is probably not the best camouflage. Albino snake. Albinism, a condition where the melanin pigment, which controls skin, hair, and eye color, is not produced, doesn't just affect us humans. Whether you're afraid of snakes or not, there's no denying that these albino serpents are seriously captivating. But you're unlikely to ever see one for yourself because they're some of the rarest creatures in the world. The reason why there are so few and far between is actually pretty sad. In the wild, most snakes rely on camouflage, so they don't become another animal's dinner. But an albino snake with its pearly white skin will stand out in its native habitat and will likely not last long enough to reproduce. What's more, albinism often results in poor eyesight, which puts them at a disadvantage when hunting for food or avoiding danger. Albino animals are also more vulnerable to poachers looking to capitalize on the booming demand for exotic pets derived from rare creatures. Basically, it's a hard life being this pretty. Lobsters caught off the Atlantic coast of North America aren't usually very colorful. Instead, they tend to be murky greenish-brown. But in 2016, two fishermen off the coast of Nova Scotia made the news when they caught not one but two vivid blue lobsters in quick succession just 150 kilometers apart. Netting a blue lobster is usually considered a sign of good fortune among the region's fishermen, so it seems like these guys got double lucky. In fact, the probability of the creatures having this coloring is widely viewed as being around 1 in 2 million. Considering around 200 million lobsters are caught in the North Atlantic every year, that equates to about 100 blue ones turning up annually. Blue lobsters get their dazzling cobalt hue thanks to the genetic abnormality that causes them to produce more of a certain protein than regular lobsters. But it turns out blue isn't even the rarest colored crustacean you can hope to catch. Back in 2011, two Dorset fishermen hit the ultimate jackpot when they netted this albino or crystal lobster near Portland Bill in Weymouth. These ghostly lobsters are caused by a genetic condition called leucism, which leaves them with no pigment in their shells. Without any camouflage, it's incredible that this stunning crustacean hadn't already been eaten by a predator like a shark. In fact, the odds of finding this bad boy are estimated to be 1 in 100 million. I hope the fishermen bought a lottery ticket after this. How lucky would you feel after netting one of these cool crustaceans? Have any of you guys ever seen an animal this rare in the flesh? Whether you spotted an elusive creature in the wild or at the zoo, I'm genuinely curious to hear about it. So let me know in the comments below. Pink dolphins. Pink dolphins may sound like something from a fantasy land, but they're about as real as they come. These rosy-hued ocean dwellers are actually known as the Chinese white dolphin. These creatures are beloved by the people of Hong Kong for their pale pink coloring and apparent abilities to bring good fortune. They were first recorded in local waters as early as the 1600s and inhabit the waters surrounding the Pearl River estuary. But the Chinese white dolphin is facing a number of threats to its natural habitat, including overfishing, water pollution, and heavy marine traffic, along with constant coastal development. According to WWF Hong Kong, there has been a staggering 80% drop in dolphin abundance in Hong Kong waters over the past 15 years, all thanks to human interference. The most recent government estimates indicate an average of just 32 Chinese white dolphins left in Hong Kong waters, a historical low. In June 2020, WWF released an emergency action plan to protect the remaining population. If that doesn't work, they almost certainly face extinction. Do better, humans! Pied peacocks. Peacocks are some of the most aesthetically pleasing birds to look at, and male peacocks actually rely on their brightly colored plumage to attract the mate. But not all peacocks are colorful. Just take a look at this unconventional show-off. This lesser-known variation is known as the silver-pied peafowl, which originated in the US in 1992, when it was discovered by 3 different breeders around the same time. As you can see, the male silver-pied peacock is primarily snow white with about 20% of its body possessing some color, mostly around the neck area. Although albino peafowl may exist, almost all white peafowl suffer from a rare genetic condition called leucism. Leucistic peafowl can produce pigment, but cannot deposit the pigment to their feathers, resulting in blue-gray eye color and complete lack of colorization in their plumage. In some cases, peafowl can be affected by partial leucism, which result in birds that are half-colored and half white. These super rare birds are known as pied peacock. Talk about the best of both worlds. This condition doesn't just affect peacocks either. Check out these incredibly rare piebald python that look like they have little jack-o'-lanterns all over their pearly white bodies. Golden tiger. Have you ever heard of anything more regal than a golden tiger? Rather than being a separate subspecies, this glorious big cat, sometimes called golden tabby tiger or strawberry tiger, is a color variation caused by a recessive gene known as a white band gene. These fabulous felines have gold-colored fur which is thicker and softer than a regular tiger's, with pale orange stripes. Although it's a different version of the Bengal tiger species, golden tiger tend to be considerably larger and can weigh between 240 to 500 pounds. The first ever golden tiger born in captivity came from 2 Bengal tigers at the Adriatic Animal Attraction in Florida in 1983. When 2 of these tigers are mated with one another, there's a chance the offspring will be white because the variety also carries the recessive gene that is responsible for the slightly less rare white tiger. The golden tiger is so rare that, to the best of modern knowledge, it only exists in captivity today. Even in this protected environment, there are only 30 or fewer golden tiger in the world. What kind of beautiful, weird, or interesting animal have you ever seen or have you in mind? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to support us and support these beautiful animals. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and please hit the bell for our further content. Thank you!
Fearless.